Welcome back to JDM Motion. So today we're gonna do a video on the armrest of the 95 Acura Legend LS. There's two things that are wrong with this armrest that I want to correct. And first thing is pretty obvious, is that there's a crack straight in the middle right here. You can see it. So I want to address that. So how I'm going to address that is by plastic welding it and then adding more support underneath, and I'll show it to you once I take it apart. And then the other is this right here, this cup holder right here. For some people who have the issue where it won't latch back when you hit back like that, when you push it back, it won't latch. Well, there's a reason why it won't latch, and most people would just go ahead and just put a lock to hold it back because it won't retract, it won't hold back. So I'll show you how to fix that. Okay. So I've already taken the screws off already. There's basically a total of 6 screws, and all you're gonna do is take that off. One here, 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 here. Once you take that off, you should be able to come off just like that. Okay, and then once you take it off, there's going to be screws inside that's going to be that's going to hold to the hinge that flips this thing, opens and closes it. So you're going to take that off. Okay, and then there's going to be screws here that you need to take off in order to take this off. And then there's another I believe let me see, yep, just these two here, and that should be able to take it off. Okay, I mean, just basically, you can look at it, you can tell what you need to take off in order to take the screws off. Okay, so once you take all the screws off and everything, go ahead and remove that. Okay, I'm gonna show you this cup holder piece first, how to fix that. Okay, so when you look right here, this is what holds the cup holder. Okay, see that? When you push it in and you push it again, that's what holds it. Okay, underneath here, there's a little pin right here, a little pin right down there. Okay, that pin right here. What you need to do is you need to take a some kind of a flat head like this. I use this, and I tucked it underneath there, underneath of it, and then I pressed down on the top of it, and I just pushed up on it. Okay, and by pushing up on that pin down there, what it did was it gave more space. It caused it to have more of a gap underneath here, so that way when that pin hits this right here, it pushes it back, and then it goes into this little trap right here, which then locks it. Okay, now what was happening with mine was, because it was either it fell out somehow, and it wouldn't get into that little trap right here. That little pin wouldn't get into that little trap because it was too long. It just kept going back instead of holding. It just kept going back. So by me pressing up on that little pin right down here and pushing it back up more, it was able to clear this piece edge right here and enter those little mazes, and that right there, which then was able to get in and lock it. And then when you press it again, then it comes out this way. Okay, so again, there's this little pin right here. Okay, that's the pin that you want to push up all the way in. Okay, and then that pin is what is able to travel through these little mazes, and that's what causes it to lock. Okay, because I couldn't figure out why it was doing that, so every time I would have to bring it back, I would have to just do this in order to keep it locked in and not coming out. So, but now I figured out what was wrong with it, so I'm sharing that with you. Okay, so that's all you got to do, and that's fixed. Okay, so now we are going to address the other issue of the crack part right here. Okay, as you can see here, there's that crack right there. Okay, there's that crack. Okay, and you can see how it's causing a little crease right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plastic weld that and add more plastic there. And what I might even do is I might get another maybe another metal piece or some kind of another plastic piece. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get hot glue, and I'm going to fill all these traps right here. All these traps right here. And then I'm going to place that piece on top of here to give it more support. And that's what I'm going to end up doing. But for now, we are going to go ahead and plastic weld. We're going to go ahead and plastic weld those areas right here. Okay. Again, you can see it. Okay, right there. See that separation? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and align it as much as I possibly can. And when this thing heats up, I'm gonna go ahead and start plastic welding it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start in the middle right here. Yeah, just make sure you guys use your some kind of mask or goggles. For the video sake, I'm not using it right now, but I want you guys to use that, to use your mask and the your goggles. I'm gonna go ahead and it's kind of hard to. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on. Okay, so like this, goggles, mask. Okay, that way you don't breathe in that stuff. Okay, so okay, you're just gonna inch it a little bit at a time, just to soften that plastic. Okay, and I'm gonna go back here, do the same. All I'm doing is using just a little edge right here. See that? And all I'm doing is just stabbing it in.
Okay.
Okay, then I'm gonna take the flat top. Okay. I'm gonna melt some more plastic. This here is just a plastic fork. It's a pretty good material. It's very flexible.
Knife.
Knife. Thank you. Yeah, so it's really flexible. It's not really extremely hard, and that's kind of what you want. You want plastic that are flexible. And all I'm gonna do is just gonna go ahead and melt it. And then fill it in right where I made those indentations, and that's what's gonna make it strong. Okay, it's gonna be inside. It doesn't need to be pretty. The point is you want to reinforce it and make it strong. You know, like these are things that you can do to help restore old, hard to find parts. You know that you're not going to be able to find parts for cars like these, and if you did, it's very expensive. A lot of people want a lot of money because they know you need it, and it's just a rare part. So you know, you got to learn how to restore it and bring it back. Okay, we're kind of almost halfway through. It's gonna take time. I've got it on 350 degree heat, which is melting it pretty good. You don't want to place it on too long. I wish I was able to get into the other side and be able to kind of plastic weld a little bit on the other side where the crack is at, be underneath the leather. But I think what I'm going to be doing is pretty much an overkill, and I think that will be more than sufficient to fix this. Karen? Okay, we're a little bit more than halfway through. Just fill it in, press down on the iron to push down the plastic, the melted plastic. And again, you know, this ability to be able to plastic weld will be able to help you restore a lot of parts in pretty much any car, if done right. And I was very ecstatic to be able to kind of learn this, because I've got a lot of parts that I've been restoring and paying a lot of money trying to buy it, and it's just some of the parts are not bad. It's just broken tabs or cracked here and there, and they can be fixed. So I don't know why I did not stumble onto this much more earlier, but I'm glad that I did now. Okay, here it is. This is what it looks like. Not too shabby. You gotta remember that you know, it's in the inside, and it's not important what it looks like. Nobody's gonna be able to see it, but what we did was we restored something that was broken. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'm going to then reinforce it with another piece here with the heat glue, the plastic heat gun glue. I'm gonna fill it into these little areas right here, and I'm gonna put that on top of it, which then will reinforce it. But I think I've got to test and make sure that it doesn't. Alright guys, so as I mentioned earlier, so now that we've got it all plastic weld and everything, from where it cracked right here, so as I said earlier, I'm going to make a backing piece right here to support it and make it stronger, so when you put your armrest on it, that it's not going to crack it again. Okay, so this piece here is just a thin plastic piece. Is really strong. What it is it's my dog's kennel tray, and he chewed it up, so I saved it. You know, I'm always thinking like there's something that could be used, and this is pretty strong. Okay, so I just cut it up and shaped it to the areas right here. Okay, like that, as far as I can go. Okay, and it's thin enough to where it will clear the cup holder. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I sanded it down here to give it a little bit of rough texture, and I sanded the inside here just a little bit to give it a rough texture. So now I'm just going to go ahead and use the heat glue here to bond it together. Okay, I'm just gonna fill it up as much as I possibly can. I'm not worried about anything else. It's just a matter of just filling it up. Probably want to do this quickly before it before it dries up, cools down. Yes, I'm just gonna go into the to the lines right here. Looks like it's starting to heat up already. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's starting to cool down already. So this is not gonna be good. So I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and go over it, or possibly use a heat gun, maybe melt it back down. There's just too much of a large space. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and fill it up as much as I possibly can, and then what I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna go ahead and take the heat gun and melt it down, melt it all back down that way. Yeah, the heat gun should be hot enough to be able to melt it down to where we are able to glue that plastic piece on. Okay. Go ahead and shut it off again. Interfere with the cup holder part right here. I think I have plenty of room. Yeah, I think I'll have, I feel it back here. Yeah, a good amount of room.
You didn't break it again, did you?
No. I think I should have a good amount of room clearance up here to add another piece. Yeah, I can tell right here that I would have a good amount of room right here to add another piece. Okay, so I hope you find that helpful, and you know, that you don't have to you don't have to look for another one, or spend more money and try to get another one. And if you have a one that's already good already, you don't have to worry too much about it. And it's a little bit easier fix than having to tear out the whole leather and then try to fix it or whatever. But I think that's an easier fix and probably save you some time. Okay. Alright guys, so the hot glue gun technique that I was mentioning, I've tried it and it did not work. Okay, it would dry and then it would start to basically kind of peel off. So even though if I put it all back together, you know, they put your armrest on it, it's just gonna, this whole thing's just gonna pop out. Okay, so I went online and I searched around to see what the best adhesive to plastic is, and I found out that JB Weld, plastic Weld, the epoxy putty. This stuff is supposed to be really super strong from what I've read. maximum strength 600 psi, and here's all of the stuff that it can bond to. Okay, so it's gonna come in a tube like this. Okay, the reason why I didn't do a demo is because I wanted to make sure that this works. Okay, so I went ahead and already done it already, but I'll show you what it is. It'll come in a tube like this. Take the cap off, and it'll come in a plastic wrapping like this. You're gonna unwrap it, and the end of the putty, there's gonna be 2 of these. Okay, you're gonna pull it out, pull it off, both ends. Okay, and then you're going to after you put your gloves on, you're gonna go ahead and kneel it together and kind of smash it all together. It's gonna turn like a blue into a light gray. That's when you know that you've done a good job. Okay, this whole tube was able to cover this whole area. Okay, so basically what I did was I ripped little pieces and I just put it across, put it across, put it across, put it across, put it across evenly, and then I just kind of smeared it out. Once I smeared it out, then I put the backing that I made, and I placed it and I pressed it down as hard as I could. Okay, at one point I even put it on the ground and I kind of put my heel to it, bottom of my heel to it, just to kind of give it a little bit more pressure. And then it seemed like it's holding very well. It feels really good. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it something on top of it to put some pressure so it'll dry overnight. Okay, and I believe that this is gonna work 100% good. All right, so so hopefully this helps you guys on repairing your cracked armrest, if you have a cracked armrest like I did. And like always, share, like, and subscribe. Stay in motion. Peace.